Welcome to Global Bones podcast, where companies cross borders. In today's episode, we are interviewing someone who moved from translating books to training localization professionals. We talk about the origins of his school, how he manages to gather students from more than 50 countries, and obviously a bit of AI. Are you ready? Let's get started. So, hello, Gokhan. How are you?
Hello, Oscar. It's great to see you, and thanks for the invitation.
Yeah, my pleasure. With Global Bones being a podcast about internationalization, and obviously we needed to have someone from the localization industry, and who better than you? So to start with, Gokhan, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So, I'm from Turkey, from the south of Turkey, from a city called Antakya or Antioch, as it's known historically. And I studied in Istanbul in translation department in Boğaziçi University. So, after finishing my study in the translation department, I transitioned to philosophy for my master. I 2 years in philosophy, and then I moved to Spain, to Barcelona, to do a PhD in translation. And yeah, since then I've been in Barcelona, living here, and during all this time I have worked as a translator. Firstly, interestingly, I started by translating books, so some bestseller books, from English into Turkish. I translated, I think, 5 of them. And then when I was doing the master, I transitioned to some more scientific books and a philosophy book. And then I started with the technical translation after coming to Barcelona. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if shall I start also with the journey of Localization School as well now?
Yeah, definitely. So because we haven't yet said, but Gokhan is the founder of a I would say international renowned and well-known localization school, where I am very pleased to be part of as well. So, Gokhan, what was the idea behind the localization school?
Well, after coming to Barcelona to do the PhD, I decided to work on machine translation because even in 2015, 16, people were already shouting that machine translation will bring the end of the translator, blah, blah, blah. And I wanted to see if it's real or not. And I decided to work on the topic here with Ana Aguilar Amat and Adria Martin. And I really needed some training on machine translation. I didn't know anything at all, only Google Translate and a few more platforms. And looking around, I didn't see any courses that I can join quickly to at least get the idea of what the topic is, etc. And then, luckily, being in the Autonomous University of Barcelona, which is, I think, one of the pioneers in teaching translation technologies, they decided to start a summer school on on translation technologies, which would also include machine translation. And it would be in English. Like at that time, my Spanish and Catalan weren't that good, so I needed something in English at the time. And I became one of the first students of this summer school on translation technologies. And I really liked it. And I started to collaborate with Adria Martin, who was the coordinator by then, about marketing of the school. Then later in the second year, I started to teach. By second year, I mean in 2017, I started to teach CAT tools, MemoQ, basically, and also started to help with the organization. And we really liked it because we were having students not only from Spain, but also from all around the world. And people like coming from very like important organizations, from the United Nations, from European Commission, from NATO, etc. So it was quite cool for us. We were learning from the peers, we were learning from the professors, but the only limitation was that it was physical. So everyone needed to come to Barcelona, to the university, be in the same room, and learn together, which was of course cool, and it's great for people to come to Barcelona, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes, and later Adria gave me the responsibility of organizing the school, doing everything in the university by 2018-19. And we started to have some problems. Like people were very interested in the translation technologies summer school, but some people needed visa. People coming from Africa, from Turkey, from my country, from Syria, etc. And not everyone was getting the visa. And I was really feeling that it was unfair for these people. They have the willing, they have the money, they want to come, learn, take this knowledge back to their country, and it also help other people who are in their country. But in the end, many people got rejected, although we were preparing everything, helping them with the visa. And the only solution that I was thinking by then was to have an online school, like in parallel. But that was my idea, to have a school in parallel in the university. But we were having a trouble, like thinking, how will we be able to teach people translation technologies online? Because it's quite challenging if you think about it. It's 2019, by the way. Do you have any questions, by the way?
That was before the pandemic, wasn't it?
Yeah. I will now combine the topic with the pandemic.
Okay.
Because by then it was really unimaginable. Like if you were also discussing with professors, would you like to teach online? And they were saying it's probably not possible to teach like CAT tools, some programming, etc. online. And also the student wouldn't like it because, like one of our sales point is Barcelona,
Barcelona,
like
yeah, definitely.
So in my brain, I was thinking maybe at one point I can just like record a CAT tool class and put it on, I don't know, in Udemy, online, on Coursera, etc. But it, like these things, you think about them, you postpone. And then in 2020, we prepared everything. Like by January, I think we had already the program, everything, and some people already started to register, and pandemic happened. And so we didn't know like how, as you know, at first there was only 2 weeks of quarantine, and they said later everything will open up. So we waited until May, to see if we will be able to organize the school. And then the university told us that it's impossible to bring any international student this year. So just cancel it for this year. It's okay if we cancel it. And we decided to cancel
and so that was the origin of the
but wait for it. So we decided to cancel it, but then we said, let's try the online. Let's see if even if we have 10 students, it would be a nice experience for us. In the end, we ended up having more than 50 students joining. It was this boom. This boom of Zoom. Everyone was Zooming, etc. We were shocked. Like for the first time in our history, we had 2 different parallel classes in the university.
Oh, wow.
Like a morning session and an afternoon session. And we were really surprised, and we saw that there is a willingness. And when you remove the physical boundaries, people were really willing to come. So it was an interesting experience for us. Adrian Martin was really like helpful in that. He helps us with the preparation of the online platform. We were using Jitsi by then, and we had a Telegram group as usual, and we created a Moodle specifically for that, which it was
Yeah.
in a very short time we were able to prepare it. Yeah.
Yeah, to make it
But
happen.
there were
Yeah.
some challenges. Yeah.
Yeah, of course. Before going into more depth about the actual contents of the course, I just wanted to comment on something that I didn't really know, that how come someone, I mean, you come from like a translating books, like literally literary translation into more technical on localization. I'm just like, my mind just blown up. So how comes? I mean, it is meant to be, or like it is generally thought that cat tools, machine translation is on one end, and on the other end is like literary translation. So how comes you decided to move from one side to the
Yeah.
other?
Well, good question. Thank you. There are many layers of that, I guess. First of all, I mean, I was already I was lucky to start very early with publishing industry, translating books, etc., and kind of knowing the good sides and bad sides of
Yeah.
being in the publishing industry. Although I really love, and I still love translating books. First of all, it's economically, it's challenging in Turkey to translate a book, spending so much time, and then getting paid like modest amounts, let's say. Although it's very, how to say, it's very fulfilling to have a book that's translated by you, but in the end you need to survive, and unfortunately technical translation was more profitable. One thing is that, and of course, and I really loved, I always loved dealing with computer localization, and I think localization, especially if you think about game localization or marketing, etc., it still keeps that creative spirit in which you can apply all these wordplays and all these limitations to reflect the source in the target in a creative way, etc. It's still there, but of course, some people don't like dealing with code, with the with the tags, etc. But in my case, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
definitely, and I'm a big advocate about this. Like localization doesn't have to be just computer language, whatever. You've got this marketing
Yeah, sure.
aspect into this, and now I understand a little bit more why you did this change, and getting into the contents. What's the localization school that you are
Offered.
managing contents about? What's the contents? Because I reckon that you've got some machine translation, localization, but what else? Because it is
Yeah,
much more
sure.
than this, isn't it?
Yeah, sure. It's just to finish the history part of it quickly, and then I will pass to the content,
Okay.
because Localization School is an independent school it's not part of the university. And this change happened after I graduated from the PhD program. So in 2021, I graduated from the university, and I needed to continue my life. Like I wasn't part of the university anymore. So I decided to continue this school independently, because Adrian Martin, he went to United States, and I was graduating, so there was no one to continue the school in the university. So I said, maybe I can talk with the university, tell them that I want to independently make a version of the school, but not exactly the same. It used to be all concentrated on the translation technologies, and I wanted to do something that is specifically on localization, because there wasn't an offer like this on. There are some master programs on localization, but a course that will encompass all the relevant topics, it wasn't available, and there was a need. I saw that need because universities in the undergraduate, they only teach a very limited number of hours of localization. In our university, it's kind of fine in UAB, but in other universities, in other countries, it's very limited. And I wanted to make it as global as possible. Like everyone from the world will be able to learn about localization, because everyone needs localization. Later we talk about it.
Yeah.
And my idea, like if we transition to the content, was to squeeze this course to 2 weeks, in which professors like you, Oscar, who have both industry background and also like teaching experience, because it's very important as well. Like there are some very skillful people who are very good at, I don't know, Python, CAD tools, localization engineering, etc., but they don't have the teaching experience, which makes it very difficult for the students to know, understand. If they don't have maybe the patience to teach, etc.
Yeah, and
so
especially when it is not face to face, because sometimes like face to face teaching, you've got the body language and you've got much more than just your voice or like a screen there. So it is like very challenging if you're not used to teaching like virtual classes, no?
Like you may have 20 students and they have all their cameras turned off, and you feel like you're alone in a room.
I hate that.
We all hate it when we are teaching online. So my idea was to make it 2-week online live sessions, but then all the sessions would be recorded, so that students will be able to keep looking at these videos and keep learning, because I know it's like, realistically speaking, no one can come from 0 to 0 in just 2 weeks. You need to digest this content, learn look at the resources, then going back to the video. If it's a hands-on session, like slow it down, watch it again, and it works like this. And the content wise, I wanted to put all the possible routes in localization into these 2 weeks, although I know it's very ambitious to put everything, and I am sure there are missing parts in the program. But the main themes are website localization, SEO localization, given by you, Oscar. Thank you. Search engine optimization localization, app localization, mobile app localization, basically, software localization. These are the thematic and also audiovisual localization. But we also want students to stop fearing programming. So we have a 3-hour session on Python. And the idea is just to show students the basics of Python and how it can be useful to a localization professional. And if they still have the willingness to keep on from there. Also I teach advanced filters. It's more on localization engineering. And again, the idea is that they will stop fearing text with code, like the files that have this thousands of soup of numbers and letters and punctuation marks, etc. To stop fearing, understanding what is translatable, what is not translatable, and then if they have the willingness to keep on from there. And what else? We also follow very closely all of our professors are in the industry at the same time and in academia. They follow up what's happening, what are the new changes, challenges, etc. And if there's a need, we add new classes. For example, on machine translation, we keep, and also it's funnily, although the content of the school looks the same every year, it's nearly changed. All the topics changes the content of them, like the content of machine translation, for example, which I teach with Alp Öktem. It changed totally because new trends come, new approaches come, new paradigms come, and we need to update always.
Precisely. This is something that people like who are not in the training business, they think that once you have taught a subject um, for the first time, then you have it all done. Like, oh no, you've got
Yeah.
all the contents and that's it. But that's not true. This is precisely what you were
Yeah.
saying. Like especially in the localization industry, or in my field in the SEO localization industry, everything changes almost. I would say not every day, but like every month or every week so far. No, so that's a very good point that you have stressed, that although the contents of the school might seem the same, they are not. No,
Yeah.
that's how you're coping with the
Mhm.
new trends and everything in the industry.
Yeah.
And what about? I think you already mentioned, but what about? Because I know that most of the teachers of the school are also from academia, are also like university teachers. What do you think it is the good aspects and not the so good aspects of like having uni professors there in the school? Or maybe it's
Well,
just all positive.
let me think. I mean, the positive things are kind of obvious. I think the patience part is very important because, like not everyone comes with the same technical background. Some students already know how to localize a product from end to end. Some students are just freelance translators who want to transition from a translator career into a localization career. And so like professors understand this and they align their content accordingly, try to find a balance between the most technical student and the least technical student, which is great. And also they have already some resources prepared, some exercise prepared, which is also a challenge in localization teaching, because I recently read an article which was on localization teaching. It was saying that the biggest problem that localization professors are having is the lack of free and open resources and exercises. Because if you are teaching how to localize a software, an app, etc., you need an app, right? Like, so that you can use it, and you need permissions for that. And luckily, we have some free and open source project that we can benefit from, and our professors are already know these resources, so they can use them.
Okay.
Honestly, I cannot think of any negative aspect of
Okay.
having
Okay.
university
That's good.
professors, because as I said, nearly all our professors, although they teach in the university as well, but their stronger side is in the industry, not in the academia.
Industry.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good like USP, no? Talking in marketing terms, of your school basically, which it balances out like from like the academia perspective plus the industry real.
Yeah, another thing that is positive, I think, having professors from the university is that they can also look from a more cold-blooded view to what's happening in industry from a upper, like, if someone is an industry only, they only look from their own perspective. But in academia, people are very accustomed to looking in a broad sense. What happened in the last 30, 40 years? What are the different competitors in a capital environment, etc. So these kinds of things are also helpful. Also, they know their research trends, because we also have students that come to they are already in the master level and they want to do a PhD, just like I was in 2016.
Okay.
And they understand what are the gaps in research, and from there we have lots of students who started their PhD now after our localization school, and they find their topics from the school. They write to me sometimes, or other professors, to ask them what can I do, and they also discover topics that they have never heard of. I have some students who wrote in the in the survey, satisfaction survey, that they have never
Yeah.
heard of SEO localization, for example, and
Mhm.
they now want to learn more and do a
Yeah.
PhD on it,
Yeah.
which is very
Yeah.
very nice.
Yeah. This happens to me at the university as well. You know, that they discover new like new perspectives or new like side of things out from the classes. Now shifting precisely from teachers to students, tell us something about the students. First of all, how you are you able to gather students from like all over the world? Because I don't know if you're doing any marketing, like any digital marketing, like talking my side of things, like any SEO, SEM, or is it just a recommendation, or how do you find your students?
Yeah, sure. My secret sauce.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, if
So
you want to tell
no, no,
us,
no,
if you want to tell us.
no. Sure, sure. It's not a big secret. Well, first of all, we have like up until now we have had more than 100 students from more than 50 different countries, which is I cannot
Wow,
even believe.
that's
Like when I
amazing, huh?
started, yeah, I said like if I have students from 10 countries, I will like boast myself saying that it's super international. And now we have students from Ghana, from Indonesia, Japan, Brazil, all European countries, all Middle Eastern countries, which is
Yeah.
very like it feels nice, you know, to also to see how like you when you have students from so many different backgrounds, you have the chance to learn what's happening in their country in terms of translation, in terms of localization. And yeah, it's nice, and also you learn a lot. It's but not only teaching, but you also learn. So what I do, like the lucky thing that I have, the unique thing, not that unique, but I guess we all have it. Since I also work in the university, currently I am a postdoctoral researcher in UAB, in Autonomous University of Barcelona, and also I am a visiting researcher in Dublin City University. So in one side, I am able to join all these academic conferences to which both students and professors of universities join, and we always have the chance to talk about what we are doing, etc. And I talk about Localization School. I also try to join all the possible physical and online events in translation industry, as long as they are in a close vicinity, or if I have the chance to be a speaker or just someone who joins as a participant, I join all of them. I chat with people. So anything related to translation, you'll find me there. That's something that I love. Like it's things that seems to be like a work to other people seems to be like a play when it comes to translation. So I go all the events, and I think only digital marketing that I do is having a mail list to which students opt in, they join, and I regularly send them emails about the school, plus
So
LinkedIn,
email
yeah,
marketing,
email
basically.
marketing, plus LinkedIn, Twitter, all these usual suspects. I regularly use them. Usually we just sharing without paid ads, but sometimes I try just to learn. I like to learn these things as well, but it's very rudimentary, nothing very fancy in that sense. And I regularly share my opinions in the form of LinkedIn post or LinkedIn newsletters, so that also reaches many people. And also these ex-students join again. Interestingly, they wanted to learn more, to interact more. So they also tell each other. And since in some cases we have university professors as our students, then they go back to they're already in their country physically. So they tell their students or other professors. So and since our industry is small and everyone knows each other, when someone is happy about a thing, they just share with others. And it grows. It has this effect.
At the end of the day, it all comes down to word of mouth, you know.
Yeah.
Like recommendation is like the most powerful source of like
Yeah,
new leads, you know. That's why
sure.
sometimes like social proof, where like reviews, online reviews, or in your
Mm-hmm.
case, I know that you're very active on LinkedIn. I know that like students, when they post their certificate,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
that must be like a big thing, like, you know, like other
Yeah.
students from other countries or other
Mm-hmm.
colleagues
Yeah.
seeing that online, and that's
Mm-hmm.
like very like engaging, you know.
Yeah, sure. I
And
like
that's
that
very
when they
cool.
do it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. That's the customer experience, you know.
Mm.
I'm not going to go into this because otherwise we're going to go somewhere else.
Yeah,
In any
I need
case,
to,
so
yeah.
we have been, or you have been telling us that you've got like people or students from like 50 different countries. Have you noticed any different level of uh, localization skills, or what about their backgrounds? Are they different depending on their country? What's the difference in between, you know what I mean? I mean,
Mhm. Yeah.
what's the difference?
Mm.
Or if you had to do like a ranking, what would be like
Mhm.
the most proficient country in terms of um, graduate knowledge of localization, and the least, if you want to say, or maybe not, maybe just the
Yeah,
top
well,
ones.
it's hard
Let's keep it
because
positive.
the sample of students, it's not normalized. You have some from some countries you have only one student, from others you have many students. Interestingly, it always makes me surprised, like no matter what country it is, people who are coming from translation background usually have do not have like very high computer skills, not only cat tool skills, but computer in general, because that's usually not part of the curriculum. Interestingly, like, not maybe not that interestingly, but I was assuming in my mind that it's already something that is surpassed, like having enough computer classes plus cat tool classes plus machine translation, localization classes, etc. I was thinking that it was normalized, but it seems that still, like, no matter what country we are talking about, maybe with the exception of Spain, I would say, because in Spain, I think, from my observation being here, universities usually have a good both computer and translation technologies, let me say, classes. Um, but still, only translation skills are developed, not technology skills, in many countries, and there's a need. People want to learn. Like, they know that the companies have this. They want these skills from the graduates, from the already, like, translators, freelance translators, etc. But, like, what I can say is that for people from Northern America, they are more interested in the, like, project management side of things, like managing an LSP efficiently, things like this. But
Mhm.
when you look at Europe or Middle East, etc., they want to learn the skill, like the how to skills, like how to
Mhm.
do localization and engineering from end to end. And also, like, people coming from companies who are like localization managers, etc., they also are more interested in skills like how you can talk to an LSP, what are the things that you need to be careful, etc. But people coming from other background, from Asia, etc., they also want the, as I said, the how-to skills, how it is done by me, the person. So there's one
That's very
managerial,
interesting.
yeah. It's maybe related to the how to say, the maturity of the localization in that country, because if there are already LSPs in which localization experts are already working, you want to be in the manager level.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, about the countries, one country that is interestingly like remarkable in terms of the number of students is Saudi Arabia.
Mhm.
There is a very big demand coming from there. They want to learn really like every kind of skills that is relevant, and they feel that they need these skills. Maybe it's because of the vision of the country for 2030. I think it's like they want to develop games within the country, translate as many things as possible into the Saudi dialect of Arabic, etc. So we have had lots of professors joining directly from Saudi Arabia, from translation department, plus students. Yeah, and I think maybe because of my background, we have lots of students from Turkey and Spain. Probably LinkedIn is showing the my post to people in Turkey or in Spain based on my location or based on my background. It may be the reason. And yeah, and
Maybe it's also because of your clicking habits, no? Maybe if you are like commenting or like from a lot of
all my
people from Spain
interactions
or
on
Turkey.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
very
probably.
interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting about the US or like America sort of thing versus more Europe or Western countries. That's a very interesting point. And what about the related also to students? What do you think it is what they value most of the classes? What do you think it is the reason? First, the reason they enroll, which I reckon must be this like a mix of like professors and contents, which I think is like very interesting. But also in that survey that you send them when they finish the classes,
Yeah.
what do they say there? What's their like the big thing why they like the school?
Yeah, well, there are several things that they add. First of all, like the backgrounds are usually freelance translators, freelance translators who want to develop their technical skills to translate maybe faster, better, or change their position from freelance to a full-time position. We have university professors who have been teaching translation skills, translation competence, but they want to be able to teach CAT tools and machine translation, etc. And then we have students who want to do a PhD and they want to know what's there in localization, what they can investigate further, etc. And we have people who are working in technology companies in localization departments, and they also want to improve their skills. And first of all, of course, they like the variety of classes, which helps them investigate different areas. Like maybe they have always worked in app localization, but they have never seen the opportunities that are in SEO localization or audiovisual localization. They really like it. They see like it's just like they see all the possibilities of localization in this school, and then they have the chance to decide from where to go. Since we provide the video recordings, they also find it very, very important because, as you may know, like having 5 hours of class, getting tired, they maybe not catch some things, they want to rewatch them. Not only the recordings, but also the resources and also the something that everyone writes, which is, I think, very nice, and I am happy that we have it, this group that we have, the community that we create. I give it a lot of importance to have the community of people having at least a we use Telegram group. People may use WhatsApp group or Discord, etc. But having this group helps them communicate among each other, answer each other's questions, because like a university professor maybe they have never talked to a localization project manager, and this allows them to talk with each other, ask questions to each other. Maybe they want to change a career, and they have the chance to know what this perspective of this person is. and they can talk to professors directly. In the other courses that I by the way, I am like a junkie of online classes. I join like lots of classes, on like get Python courses in Coursera, on Udemy, etc. You always have a wall between you and the professor that you cannot reach, which demotivates you to continue, and in the end you end up after 3-4 hours of class not continue. But here you have, since you talk to the professors, to talk to the other friends, you feel a responsibility to continue. And you also feel comfortable seeing that other students are also struggling, or else, we, especially in the online domain, we hide our weaknesses, like we try not to show that we don't know, although we are there because we don't know, to become there to know, to learn. So after that, people get relaxed and they ask every kind of question, because at first students think that it's a silly question, but then they realize that these questions, we all ask this kind of questions, so no need to worry. So in the end, they all write that, they say that we are happy about the community that's created, and many students keep on their friendship after the course, which is very nice. And they also talk with the professors, ask them questions later, which is great as well. And we all work in the same industry, so in the end, people either work with each other or they come across each other in the conferences, etc., which is one of the nice things about the school.
Perfect. Yeah, and I do agree. Especially, I know that you are doing like an amazing job in like building this community. Also, like doing these coffee meetings that you call it, which is very nice, and it's very relaxing, no? To create this sort of like breaking the wall between like teachers and students, and like we're here to learn from each other, no? Which is a bit the idea. Do you have any success stories about like a student who have been like in your school, but now because of that or because of whatever, they have collaborated with someone else, or they have like got this amazing job? Any success stories?
Well, let me think. We have some. But
Okay.
I would say some academic ones. So we had now a friend, I will say, who is from Syria, and he, like, when we were organizing the summer school in UAB, in the physical one, he wanted to come to join and then go back to his country and use the skills. And his visa was rejected 2 times. Like, although we sent email to the consulate, etc., he couldn't come. And then after starting the localization school, he was able to join online to the school, and then he became a collaborator, and we become friends, and we started to talk. And he normally didn't have any tech, like maybe some, but not some CAT tool skills and machine translation, etc. But then, thanks to the school, he developed the skills, and now he was admitted to a PhD program in Ireland, and he moved to Ireland, and I was happy to be the bridge between him and Ireland. So now he's doing his PhD. We have another student from Ghana who joined the school, and he wanted to come to like Europe to do a master's program. And again, I tried to help him after the school, being reference to him, and he's now in Sevilla doing a master's degree on translation technologies, which is translation technologies and localization. I think that's the program, which is nice. Like, you hear these stories and you feel nice. And of course, there are lots of people who are who have changed jobs, like starting in a freelance position and now working in big companies in specific roles, like key roles in which they use the skills they learned from our school. And there are also some people who decided to do to transition from being a freelance translator to it's like SEO specialist, like getting some more courses, etc. Just like thanks to the school that they develop the skills. But I mean, I know that it's not just the things that they learned from the school. Of course, their background
Yeah,
and
of
their
course. Yeah.
interest, etc. They are all influential. But I am like
But
when I
everything
see people,
counts, no?
and yeah, the people ask for references, and we send them like references, which also helps them get the jobs, etc. Which is nice, yeah.
Hmm. That's very cool. And now, what's the future for the school? What do you see the school becoming, or do you have any more ideas to for other courses? Because I know, like firsthand, that you're doing like a winter, spring, and summer edition. Okay, so it's like 3 different boot camps
Yeah.
across the year. But do you are you thinking about doing more, or doing any supplementary or complementary courses? What's your take on this? What's the future of the Language Technologies Academy?
What I like, the thing is, up until now, the localization school has been like one single level, so it's kind of technical, but not like super tech. It has both technical and non-technical classes, but still it has required some level of knowledge, at least of CAD tools. I call it like an intermediary level course in my brain, at least. Some participants, and like sometimes we have mixed reviews coming from the students. Some saying that it is very soft. It's like the content is not very technical, but at the same time we have some students that they say it's very technical, and I need more time to digest the classes, etc. So there are mixed feelings, and in the future I want to make a like introductory level one, translation technology course, which would focus more on CAD tools and more very basic programming skills, and also a course that would be even more advanced in terms of the number of hours on, for example, a Python course that would be more than 3 hours. It will be maybe 10 hours, more machine translation, and maybe now we started to discover if we can add courses on generative AI, not just prompt writing, etc., which is also interesting and nice, but also being able to develop small products using this.
Like train LLMs and everything.
Train would be a bit ambitious, but at least, like we're being able to like write chained prompts or make a program that uses that's one way I want to have this. Plus I want to extend the thematic courses, for example, the SEO localization, if we can make like 1 week of SEO only, for people who just want to learn SEO, because some students only want to learn app localization,
of
not
course,
the rest of it. So, and that would be nice to include as well. But it's
that's very challenging for you to organize all these new branches and everything. But I think it's very interesting, especially for students, because as you say, maybe like not all of them are interested in the same thing. So it's also very good if you've got the pool of students already, and you've got the credentials now that like people are happy about being trained with you, so it's easier to provide these spin-offs sort of thing.
It's our ex students are already requesting that. They're asking me, will you be doing a course, an extended course on SEO localization or machine translation, etc.? And we want to do that, of course, but we are also limited by the hours of the professors. As we said, like our professors are already teaching in the university, they all have their own company, and we are like asking for some time from them, but we cannot keep asking from them like every month to like depends, of course. It's a matter of talking, but also a matter of organization. And we will keep on. And I also want to do at one point courses in different languages, because now, which is, I mean, not me teaching, but for example, there are students who are Arabic to French translators, and their English is not that good, and they want still the skills. And that I also want to be able to reach all the students. And my idea is to really, like, as an honest idea, to reach as many students as possible, to teach them these skills. At one point, I also want to, by the way, do a course on for Africa specifically, from African countries, teaching them all these localization skills and CAT tools, especially the ones that are free and open source, and make it, if possible, totally free. If I can find some sponsors to be able to cover the cost of the school, so that we can reach as many students as possible. That I think that's like, if you are within the education domain, I think this ambitious goal is always there. You want to, like, whatever you know, you want to convey it to everyone. And now we are limited, of course, by the costs there, and because we are paying for, I mean, there are different costs, and if we can find that, I see it as a problem, and if we can solve this problem, we can reach more people, and we will see if we can do that as well.
Yeah, I mean, like these sponsorships, I mean, I think they could be very important, especially for this African project. No, it is very interesting. And to finish off, what would you say someone who is thinking about improving their localization skills and is thinking about joining the school? Come on, give us an elevator pitch about the school.
Well, if you would like to join this exciting domain of localization industry, which we have been in since, I think, like for at least 15 years or so, it's a domain that keeps growing. That keeps like growing in terms of content, in terms of revenue, etc. It's a very exciting domain, and if you don't have time for a master's program for a year, or if you need the skills, or if you want to decide later from which domain you want to develop your skill into within localization, we have website localization, app localization, SEO localization, video game localization, some programming courses, Python included, some HTML, and also some skills that are relevant to the industry. We have a course on entrepreneurship in localization for translators, and also some digital present courses, etc. This is your gateway to localization, and we would be very happy to have you as our student. And you can find us on localization.school website. It's very easy.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah, we will be happy to have you.
Yeah, we will have everything related to the Localization School somewhere down there. But I don't know if we've missed something important. If you think that we are missing to comment on something before we finish, and we really, encourage people to visit the website and contact you through LinkedIn or Twitter, because I know that those two are your
the one
main,
that I use.
that you use. Anything that is left?
Well, although you may hear on internet, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, etc., some pessimistic views on the future of translation and localization due to the technological advances, especially in generative AI or machine translation, etc. Localization and translation industry is still one of the most promising industries in the world. It's very satisfying, and if you can have your guide in your hand and know how to navigate within this industry, there's still space for you. Always think about that and keep a optimistic view about the future. Really, we have been here and we will be here as localizers and translators.
Yeah, we are needed in
that's
the
the last.
world, aren't we?
Yeah. You always need someone in the driver's seat, and that would be the people who come from this background. And we will be happy to be your guide in this journey.
Yeah, fantastic. And to finish off, now that we haven't been talking about AI, and come on, I mean, we're talking about the localization industry, and that's the hot topic nowadays. To finish this episode, which I think has been very interesting, could you tell us what's your view on the precisely localizer or the localization expert in this new era of the AI and LLMs world, etc.? What's your view, like from your like professional, but also from your academic perspective?
Yeah, sure. It's first of all, it's quite exciting what's happening, like the abilities that have been provided by ChatGPT, GPT-3 and GPT-4. I've been from the first day. I've been playing with them and trying to see how they will influence our job, which is content transformation. And these tools are helping us to transform content automatically in a very quick way, in different ways, which were not imaginable with the neural machine translation era. We were able to just put a source text and then receive a target translation automatically, which was fast. But you are now able to automate creatively. In the past, it was like a passive way of automating. You put and you receive. Many people are thinking that it will like remove the need to have translators, localizers, etc. But first of all, the quality provided by these systems, just if you are only talking about automatic translation, is still not as high as the quality provided by a traditional, I will call it now, always like just for 5 years, Google
Old
Translate
school.
or DeepL. And we have done an academic work with two colleagues, with Joao and Vicente, on comparing the quality in Portuguese, Brazilian Portuguese, Spanish, Catalan, and Turkish, comparing GPT-4 versus Google Translate versus a free and open LLM system called Vicuna. And we have seen that in all the scenarios, that nearly in all of them, not all, once it's published, I can share a link. It's still Google Translate performs way better than these systems. And these systems are, although there is a sensation that they will quickly get better and they will pass traditional NMT system, it's still they are behind them. That's one thing. Second, this automatic content transformation side of the story, you still need someone who will be transforming the content, who will be reading the output of this content. And it will be us, the people who are in the language industry for such a long time. But there, of course, it's still new. There may be very interesting new use cases. But although I have joined, like I really literally joined every like event, online and physical event, on the effect of ChatGPT and LLMs on translation. The thing that I see, although people are very excited, are still very limited, and many companies are still going on with the traditional way of working. Our industry is a very conservative industry, I can say. Although, like, you would see that people will jump into using machine translation as in the past. It used to be the highest new technology that is available, but people still, like, since they have already their workflows, they are usually reluctant to change. They have their cat tools, their translation memories there,
Mhm.
and up until now, I cannot see how they will just leave aside everything that they have been accumulating and just transition to uh, another paradigm. It will be slow, not as fast as we think. But of course, I see that some cat tools started to include the possibility of using ChatGPT within the cat tool, which is a nice thing. And again, it will be used by the translators localizer. I always try to see all these tools as tools that helps the translators, the localization specialist or the SEO specialist, because they are the expert. And as commonly said, there will always be a need for an expert in the loop, as they call it. Although I know, like saying making a futuristic guess about technology is always obliges you to be wrong in the end.
Yeah,
But for now,
definitely.
I am For now, what I am seeing from a translator point of view is people still are working in the same workflow. And nothing has changed up until now. But of course, there will be new startups coming and offering to work with these tools, with these new paradigms. Let's say the ChatGPT paradigm. But still, I think we are not there yet, and I'm still betting on the translation and localization industry.
On my side, I can say that there are some of our clients on translation that are definitely using ChatGPT. They are doing like a mix of like DeepL, ChatGPT, producing some content in another language, and then we are sort of like doing the post editing plus the SEO optimization, and then producing like an outcome. So
Wow.
it's like the workflows nowadays are just like, as you said, like I know that in some industries they are doing it and using it hardcore, especially when it comes to like e-commerce, which is like a big like volume and everything. I think it's, as you said, like it's much better to be in the loop, in the wave, than to be left behind. And
Sure.
but yeah, I think this could be like a nice intro for another episode
Sure.
in the future. Future translation and localization experts, you will always be needed to a certain extent. So, Gokhan, thank you very much for joining us. It's
Thank you to you, Oscar.
It's been lovely having you here, and we will see you very soon in localization.school. Is it?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, www.localization.school. There's no .com in the end or anything.
Yeah, it's one of those domains that are explanatory. Localization.school. Definitely. So we will be seeing you there. Thank you very much, Gokhan.